yes, it's great that we accept children for who they are, right? But nobody speaks to the fact that that father never imagined that that's the route that his child will go in. And it takes time for him to process it. And there's a bit of trauma that that parent goes through. But I don't think that's ever acknowledged, right? And it doesn't mean that the father thinks that he shouldn't accept his son. He accepts his son. But it's just that maybe he never fathomed that this is where it would go. And it takes a minute. He loves his kid and he's going to accept him, but it's still a bit of shell shock. Like, oh, wow. You know, this is what we're dealing with. Okay.
So is it more hurtful, you think? Or
no,
like...
and I don't even think it's about hurt.
Adjustment.
I think it's more shell shock.
Got you.
Right? Because maybe he's never fathomed. It's never been a thought, right? He raised a boy and he never thought that this is where it would go. Not that there's anything wrong with it. And not that he doesn't accept it, but it's just that moment that he may need to process it.
Mm-hmm. You said that you don't think that it's acknowledged as much, but that's the first thing I think about. Like when a child comes out to their parents, is the parents' feelings about that. And not to say that I'm not thinking at all about the child's feelings and, you know, how they feel the parents might react, but I think that it's more acknowledged than you think, that people think about the parents and how they react to news like this and how it changes them.
Well, I'm just speaking to what I see that's put out there, right? Like and I know social media isn't always an accurate depiction of what's going on in the world, but I know that whenever I see any type of narrative towards that subject, it's always, if the parent even takes a second to process it, it's always, oh, you're alienating your child, you know, that's not fair. Your child has the right to live their life as they want to, which they do. But all parents have an expectation.
But
right?
we know how like soft and progressed the world has become.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
So
ask.
that is what has to be put out into the world.
Does it have to be put out?
It doesn't have to, but
What's being put out?
What's being put out? You lost me.
okay, what's being put out is that the child has a safe space, right? Not
At home? You mean with the parent?
right. So when the parent reacts, you know, being accepting of a child being gay or whatever, it's like, okay, this child is in a safe home, you know, the parents, blah, blah, blah. But the narrative is never that the parents are disappointed or the parents have lost something like in their hearts for their kid or anything like that, because right now it's all about everyone being okay with the LGBT.
Yeah,
Well, that's
Well,
the worst
because
thing,
it's
too.
I'm sorry. That's because I feel that what you're talking about is us seeing it. So us seeing it has to be immediate acceptance. And that's because, not saying because, but maybe because there's a camera in this person's face and they know that this could be a dangerous weapon. It could be used against them. Maybe they'll lose their job. Maybe their other family won't accept them, or whatever the ramifications are. So I think that I don't think you should put this on camera, personally. I don't think you should come out to your parents on camera, and not saying you should hide it or anything. And I think that's a private moment that
It
should
is,
be,
but-
I don't think there's any safety in you putting a camera in front of your face and telling the world
That's true.
something personal. There's
Is
no
this like
safety.
real life examples? Because
I'm using your example.
I was more so imagining like the way it's depicted on TV. Because there's either like too far, you know, reactions. It's either you're accepting, oh my gosh, it's okay, I love you, blah blah blah, or it's no, get out of my house.
But again, that's also a camera,
And that's
also a script behind it, because if it was NBC, they have to push a certain agenda to be like, hey, we're not trying to alienate our LGBT community.
Right.
And that's sort of what I'm speaking to, right? Like, I think you hit it right on the head, where it's either to the left or it's to the right, when the reality is a lot of times it's right in the middle, where it's like, no, this is my child and I love my child, but I need a minute to process
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know, it's
like
not
getting
that
a big
it's
bill
not
in
that
the
I'm
mail.
okay with it, but it's not that I'm not okay
Right.
with it.
Yeah.
You know, and I just need a minute to process, because once again, there's a bit of shell shock, because this isn't anything that I've ever really entertained or fathomed. You know, and now that I'm confronted by it, I kind of need a moment, right, to get my
digest
footing,
it,
to
yeah.
digest it. You know, but the way that the world, like right now, the world caters to the underdog, right? Or what the world perceives to be the underdog. So even taking that moment to process it is looked at as homophobic. Oh, why do you need a moment to process it? This is who they are. And it's like, okay, but by acknowledging this person's feelings, you're totally disregarding this person's feelings. And I think that in itself is unfair as well.
It's like all of the norms are being disregarded, honestly. Like even as a woman, when it comes to trans, like, you know,
No
there was a
safe
video.
spaces.
Yeah, it's like now if I feel any way about it, I feel as though I'm wrong. So it's like, let me just not talk about it. Let me stay out of it. It's really like, it's because I just saw a video today of a man who claimed to be a transgender, and he was in the bathroom, and you can see his shadow.
Oh, I saw that.
And it's like, how did we get this far? Because when I was younger, the one gay girl in our school, to me, I was like, how do you even do something? You know, like for me, it was just like, whoa, or like forbidden, or not that anybody's life has to be a secret or forbidden, but we come to a place where now I feel as though the LGBTQ,
IA plus.
okay, the community is rapidly growing because of it's like we're pushing it in movies,
And they
we're
keep
pushing
adding
it in
letters.
shows, we're pushing it, we're pushing it in everything.
And that's the
Even
thing.
What was she
school.
looking at?
I think that,
Yeah, we'll
but I do think that this might be the natural order in the process of things, right? Because we were all the way left, right? Where people who,
No, we was all the way right.
no, yeah, well, okay, we were all the way right, where people who were same sex were totally ostracized, right? And now we're all the way left.
Wait, sorry, not to interrupt you, but were they ostracized, or was there a time where everyone was private? There was privacy.
Yeah.
No,
Because now there's no privacy with anyone.
but
People
if we-
wear what they want, they show their
But if we have to be honest, if we must be honest, they were ostracized.
Oh, were they?
Right?
Okay.
They would get they were ostracized, right? And I think
know in Jamaica.
I think that we've gone all the way to the left where it's totally accepted, but now we're disregarding what we considered as normal. And I think that hopefully in the future we're going to get to a point where we get to a healthy medium.
You think,
Yeah,
it's an overcorrection?
It's
is
100.
correct.
It's
That's
100%
exactly what it is, and I
overcorrection.
think that has a lot to do with guilt, right? It's like, oh, we have to make up for the wrong that we did,
Yeah.
so we have to give them the runway to do as they please. But hopefully, within time, we're going to self-correct and get to the healthy medium where both of us can be acknowledged. We're both sides.
Too bad they don't do that for black people.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with
too
you.
bad they not doing it for black people. But I 100% agree with. There's always a course correction. They fighting it hard,
Every step of the way.
hard.
Haven't they always?
But that's because they're
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that like he's like we were very far right as far as like conservatism and norms and beliefs or whatever, and then there was overcorrection, and I think now, like he said, like we have to find some sort of like center because it's not like gay people weren't always here. It wasn't like trans people weren't always here. Like all of these things existed,
Yeah.
but more so in the shadows because of, like you said, ostracization.
I'm
Is
shaking
it?
my head.
It's okay.
No.
Rock with it.
Ostracizing.
No, it'll drive her crazy.
Due to them being ostracized, or they just remained, I guess maybe as a secret.
But they were fearful as
No,
they should
exactly.
be. You
Yeah.
know? As
And
they should have been at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like everything is upside down. It's like if me as a woman, I feel as though like if I don't agree with some I feel like as though I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just a woman. Like I'm expressing like either I'm uncomfortable with the situation, or honestly, like even transgender is like I'm not mad at the transgenders for being able to live their life, but it's like why do now women again have to be in a pickle?
Yeah.
Because we're trying to make this special group feel safe, and
You want to know why?
against it, but it's like I don't want my daughter. If I want my daughter to go into the bathroom, I want to know for sure that it's just women in that bathroom. So it's just like you're looked down on it if you say anything or speak up to the community, and it's just unfortunate.
I think men tricked you guys again because it got to the point where it became a woman's world. So men were like, wait, how do we?
When?
How
Who said that?
No, when?
No, God,
Don't worry. We do this all day.
Back
No,
up with
seriously.
data and
Yeah.
statistics. I'm
Listen.
trying to tell you.
I'm just saying. I think it got to the fact where the world kind of caters to women at the moment in time, right? To a degree.
Wait, caters or women are
Here we go.
are trying to make the same strides that men have always been able to make.
Yeah, and no.
But
And,
I don't think that's catering though.
but let me say this. Let me say this. When I say cater, how about this? How about I'm saying cater in respect to how things were compared to how they are now? Not saying that how they were was right. What I'm saying, if in comparison, if we compare what it was to what it is,
Okay.
But is it maybe catering?
and once again, maybe that's
That's what we're doing.
Maybe
to
that's
LGBT.
the wrong choice of words, right?
Course correcting.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm not saying it as if there's anything wrong with what's going on. I'm just trying to explain why I say I think men kind of, tricked women. It's because, okay, the world's catering to them. Okay, let's become women. So now the world's catering to men.
Well, no,
For me,
It's a joke.
No. Listen, there's actually truth in that, because when you think about where the power is, it's automatically instilled within white men in this country.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you have to think about like who, even when it comes to that community, who has the money and who has the power. It's still gay white men or whatever. I won't just say gay, but in that particular community, but it's white. It's still white men. So just think of you still have, even though you may live your life as a woman, you appear as a woman, you still have the audacity and the boldness and the courage that you had of your original profile. So everything comes to you as a white man. You have privileges as a white man. And so I don't know what you have to do to get rid of that you've had your entire life. So you think that though the trans people should be able to be accepted automatically and being encroaching women's spaces. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the world is yours.
Because
In your mind, yeah.
Exactly. And so I think you also have to like look at the social and historical aspect of that, because you've been living 27 years as a white man presenting as a heterosexual, I hate gays white man, right? And then now, because it's openly accepted, you can do what you want to do. You can go live your life and present as whoever you want to present as, but you still have that same mentality, thought process, audacity, everything as a white man.
And if I can build on that, I would just also like to say, when people direct the patriarchy as some type of defense when speaking to a black man, we were always a victim of the patriarchy too. The patriarchy did not apply to us, and I constantly see us grouped up in that where, but the patriarchy ruled for how many years? And it's just like, okay, but yeah, we were a victim of it too.
In America, because again, you go to foreign countries and it's definitely the patriarchy.
Yeah, but if we're talking about the effects of racism, systemic racism, that's America.
It is, but it's also a part of colonialism and imperialism.
Of course.
And so you have to think about all the places that were colonized.
I understand, but if we're talking about slavery as a whole, and we're talking about the whole system of racism, that's main. I mean, we kind of confine that to the United States because this is where that entire history took place. Not that there wasn't slavery other places, but
chattel slavery.
Yeah, chattel slavery, exactly. And as far as us as black people being oppressed and the whole system being created on that oppression, that's the U.S.
I think, and I do agree with that, but we also have to consider that even though black people and other people of color, and I'm separating that because we have very different histories in America, I think that there was also still a set of patriarchal rules that applied to men within our community. Because you referenced Malcolm X earlier. Who did he say is the most disenfranchised, disrespected?
But she was disrespected. See, this is the difference. If you want me to be honest with you, the black woman was always held up in the black community, right? The elders, the mother, the grandmother was always held up. If you want to talk about which women were oppressed, it was white women that were oppressed by white men.
Well, but I'm not saying oppression. What I'm saying is that within our own community, there's still a level of patriarchy there. And we can't deny that. I'll give you a perfect example. Our grandparents, well, I don't know about y'all, but our grandparents and how, my grandmothers didn't have credit cards. One of my grandmas didn't work.
The black man didn't decide that. That was a system that the white man created that women. But what I'm telling you is, now let's not confuse the patriarchy with the dynamic of woman and man that God created, because I think that's where the lines are getting blurred.
On purpose, though.
You know, man has a role, woman has a role, and we've gotten to a point that we try to define that as patriarchy, and it's not patriarchy. It is, whether you look in nature, whether it's lions and tigers, whether it's wolves, the male animal has a role, the female has a role. And I'm sorry, once again, like I was telling Alan earlier, I think that when it comes to nature, human beings have become the most disobedient species on this planet, because when it comes to nature and what comes natural and what God designed us to be, we are going left from it. And once again, I'm not saying that women need to sit home and just cook and clean. That's not what I'm saying, because I'm a person that believes that it's a team, right? Men lead, but I also say that although a man leads, his woman is who he follows, right? There is power in submission, so much power. If you truly understand how men work, masculinity is a nurturing force. So this whole idea of toxic masculinity is just weird to me, because what people consider toxic masculinity is actually a lack of masculinity, because men who are not truly masculine overcompensate, you know? So I think we need to be careful of always defining the dynamic between man and man, what God designed us to be, as being the patriarchy, just because we have different roles.
Okay, but we can call it peanut butter and jelly. Like it literally could be called anything, but there is a system. And I think there's a system based on particular norms that are also based on whatever sex, however you're born.
Correct.
That has been how it is.
But that system wasn't created by us black men, and it wasn't enforced by us black men. You know, black men, we were powerless, and all we could do was sit in the river. We couldn't change the flow of it. That's the reality. But a lot of times we get the blame for a system that we didn't create.
But the thing is that even if you didn't create it, there's still a perpetuation of it. That's the problem. And I think that we see it every day, and we know people who live it and who have lived it. So I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but I think that to not call it patriarchy, because you said it yourself, that it's based on mimicking what white people were doing, right? So
Yes and no, certain aspects of it, but there are also aspects of it that are just the design that God created, the role for man and the role for woman.
Give me something. Maybe I'm confused. Give me some examples.
Okay, when we say man provides and protects, woman nurtures, right? Not saying that a man can't nurture, but if we go into nature, any animal, you know, the male animals are necessarily who protect, who go out and hunt, but there are exceptions, because nothing in life is an absolute.
Lions.
Nothing in life is an absolute. But if we can say the majority, then we can say generally this is what takes place. Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is that, yes, there are injustices, the patriarchy, there's a system that's been created that has oppressed women, but we cannot be so deep rooted in and focused on that oppression that we totally ignore the fact that men and women were built differently. And we are two counterparts, right? Where men lack, women are strong, and where women lack, men are strong. And that's why God designed us to be together. You know, the whole idea of I was born alone. It's BS. The truth is you were never alone, because from the time you were conceived, you heard your mother's voice. You felt the warmth of her womb. That's why babies recognize their mother as soon as they're born. At no point were we alone, and we were not designed to be alone. And I totally dislike the fact that we are straying so far away from nature and everything that is real. And that's why I think the universe is out of whack at the moment in time.
They trying to do it. They put in the church groups. What is the name of it? Y'all know who it is. Charlie Kirk. Was it some of them?
Oh, God.
Goodness gracious,
What
that was
was
a bad
it?
example.
Yeah, Turning Point.
Like Charlie.
No. Like Turning Point. They're like
That is the patriarchy.
You know what that sounds like?
No, listen. In the state of Texas, it was just approved that they could have a chapter of Turning Point.
Oh, in college.
No. In high school, like so
And what,
Let's hope they don't try to switch.
what are they going to teach?
Right. That's why I said let's hope they don't.
Because
try
I
to
think
switch it up.
that goes right back to the patriarchy.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, though. But the thing is that they're painting it as it being a natural order.
See, but what I'm talking about is not the Bible. It's not Turning Point. It's not religion. What I'm talking about is the natural design of man and woman. I'm talking about little boys are born and they play with soldiers, and little girls play with dolls because it's naturally what's in them. It wasn't taught. It wasn't taught. And I think that this is what we are totally ignoring. You know,
What do you
it's
think,
just-
Aaron? You don't think that's true?
No, I think that that's part of nurture. Like your parents, when they bring you home, if you're a boy, you have a blue room, you have blue clothes, they buy you soldiers. You're not going out as a baby purchasing the things that you want. You don't know what the fuck you want.
No, but
So it's like, but listen, you have to. This is all nurture, and it's all based on like how we are in society. So at one point, they only had white dolls, right? And so things changed a little bit. Then they start making black dolls. Everything is going to change, like the way the society is changing.
I agree with what you're saying, but I also do agree that naturally, if you're a boy, you have to, it kind of has to be forced on you. And I think that a lot of things, like, because people were not probably being raised like in, I don't know, because we're talking about like transgender and the LGBTQ community and stuff like that. And they say a lot of people were touched and, they had experiences that brought them to where they are. But I'm not saying all cases, but I'm just saying a lot of cases. But I think if you're born as a man or a boy or a girl, I feel like naturally you just fall into the place of certain things. And I feel as though, again, like you said, maybe it's part of nurture, but maybe that's what a part of the problem is, because now the higher ups are nurturing our children in a way.
And they're nurturing them in the other direction.
Yeah,
I think little boys are born rougher. I think little boys want to fight. I think, and once again, I think nothing in life is an absolute. So no, maybe 15% of little boys don't, but if 85% do, and that's the majority, then we can say the general consensus is that's what little boys want to do. And the exception is not the rule. And we love to play this game that just, but 1% don't. Okay, that's the exception. The exception isn't the rule.
It's kind of like us as adults. Like, yes, us women, we want to, I remember you said live a life of leisure one time, where we want to be taken care of by our man. We want to be protected by our man. If it turns to be the other way and I got to protect my man and I got to go out and build the house and do this and do that, I'm going to be pissed.
Eventually, you're going to resent
But
it.
the thing is that you do protect your man. So
you protect them different ways.
Right.
That's the difference. It's
the
naturally
difference.
in you
And-
to protect him in certain ways.
just like
you
physically.
No, if you all right.
No. I mean, if that's the way you're talking about, like if you had to take on the role of a man, you're talking about protecting him.
No, I'm
how?
not saying if I had to take on the role of a man. I'm saying it should not come to a point where I feel as though the roles are reversed. I don't ever want to feel as though I am my man's man and he is my woman. And that's do you
And
get what I'm
that's what
saying?
you will feel because
that's what you would
because
feel.
naturally
It's
that's not
normal.
what you're supposed to
That's
be
not
doing.
taking
It's innate. It's innate.
You don't get what I'm saying? Do you? What are you confused about?
No. I get it, but I
Okay.
thought that's what I said.
I don't remember. It was so long ago.
So I do believe that we are likely born with some sort of innate disposition, but a lot of what we do is plain nurture.
Okay.
Like as a woman, to keep your legs like this because your mama or your grandma hit you on your leg and say, why you sitting like a nigga? You know what I mean?
It's unnatural, right? If you sitting there with your coochie lips open.
Well, actually, no. This is really comfortable, is what I'm saying.
Okay, but you're saying if you didn't get that proper.
Yeah. So if you if your granny or your mama didn't tell you, baby, go put on a girdle, some Spanx, do something with yourself,
No.
then you wouldn't know that is what we women do. If your mama didn't show you how to clean your ass. No, that's for real.
You're right, though.
If your mama don't show you how to clean your ass, then you walking around like a dude doing whatever they do. You know what I'm saying? No, like,
Like he's saying not all guys are like.
wait.
of course, no, and I know all guys aren't like that. But I think that's nurture, and nurture is literally just like.
No, it's not, because let me tell you why that's not natural. Before civilization and before we wore clothing, women were naked. And you have an opened vagina. Your legs could not be open. You had to keep it closed, or else you can be infected to bacteria. Men can do that because we have a penis. So the truth is, where you think it's not nurture, it's actually nature.
If this is comfortable to me, why can't I sit like this?
Because you would eventually get a yeast infection. You would get bacteria in your vagina. If I'm talking about before civilization.
Right. And again,
Hold on, because there is a difference in what you're saying and what she's saying, because this feels natural.
yes.
All of the all of it makes sense, yes, but we don't know that. We're just
You know why? Because you now have
saying
clothing.
why I don't-
You now have clothing. But what I'm telling you is, before civilization, and where we think, no, the reason that I close my legs is because my mother told me to. But the truth is,
No.
it's intrinsic in your DNA, because since the beginning of time, this may have been before your time, but this is what women did. This is what women did intrinsic, because it was actually survival tactics.
So women were like this?
No, but their legs were closed, because if not, their vaginas,
like
which is open, could be susceptible to bacteria, and then they would get sick. So through getting infected over years and years, they learned to keep their legs closed. So what I'm trying to make you understand is, right now, because we have the luxury of clothing, because we have the luxury to believe that this is what we were taught. No, this is actually a survival tactic. That's what it was for females. And if you go far back enough, you will come to realize a lot of things that we think we were taught by society were, no, I'm sorry. They were just survival tactics that we had to do because of the way that God designed us.
It was a survival tactic that was passed down and nurtured like that.
I think you guys are both saying the same thing in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, look.
I don't know. I
Once
end of the
again,
day,
I don't have to be right. I was just giving my perspective.
historically, if that's the case, I understand it. But again, as that was passed down, that was still nurtured. So if my whoever, great whatever, from the 1400s was doing that, that means she told her daughter, then her daughter, then her, and it kept going.
You guys are both saying it started from somewhere, from a point.
Right.
That's why I think you guys are.
But I'm saying it wasn't social conditioning.
I think you don't
saying
have a
this
mic.
is nature. He's saying this is nature. She's saying this is nurture.
I'm saying that it is social conditioning, exactly, but it was from the environment rather than by the patriarchy or society itself.
We're not born to do certain things, right? And then
I believe there are certain things we are born to do as males and females. They're intrinsic in our DNA.
right, but what I'm saying is that you can't blur the lines of what's innate, meaning you're born with it, versus nurture.
I guess Speed was doing like a Twitch stream, and you saw the father, and he had his daughters, and he was like, listen, I got all these daughters, and I don't know how many wives he had or whatever, but it's like, okay, you want my daughter? Like, you got to add to my community. Like, I need whatever cows or whatever. Did anybody?
Dowry.
The dowry, like the dowry.
But I also think that there's a set of principles that they live by, right? Where a man is not going to take on a wife.
You need to get back
provide
to
for
Yeah,
her.
exactly.
Whereas if we did that here, guys, I have 30
be
wives that
crying.
they can't even take care of.
Right. Exactly.
They wouldn't have any women because they have to. You have to work to get to that point.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We're missing God.
I mean,
definitely.
and the thing is that, like, we historically have worked, even if because in Africa it's very tribal, obviously, but within those tribes, everybody worked in community with each other. And I think Black people, we've been doing it forever, because let's say you're an enslaved person and, your such and such gets, one of your kids or whoever gets sold away, but luckily they auntie got sold too. So now that was her child to take care of. So I think in America, I think we have typically lived in commune with each other. But I think, and you said this, I think the problem is that imitating those in power, I think that we have moved away from what made us who we were and why we were able to flourish.
I feel like we've been
I think-
separated.
I think
purposely.
what's missing is the return of shame, because community
We said that.
community doesn't matter if shame does not exist, because the only thing that keeps people in line when there's community is that shame.
That's why that man can walk away from 20 babies.
Bring back shame.
People don't even care about
Shame.
the embarrassed.
Bring back shame.
Shame. There, people are not even embarrassed. Like, back in the day, if you embarrass your family, it's a problem.
Listen, I'm Haitian.
Or you
have
think
what?
about embarrassing your parents.
My oldest brother, he came to America when he was 16 years old.
I don't have
He got
that.
arrested for a DUI and called home from the bookends crying, "Oh my God, I saved
Right.
the family." Because in Haiti, if you get arrested, it is the
Haitian.
biggest. Yeah, it's the biggest stain. And and I was born in America. I'm like, stop crying, you punk.
Right. Isn't that crazy though? But isn't that crazy, the difference? Because
Yes.
I tell my friends that all the time. Growing up, I didn't even realize that I was just Black. I'm African American.
But once again, the shame of that is what always kept him in line to not want to get arrested. For me, there was nothing shameful about it, because coming from the bookends was like, oh God, I just spent the weekend in the bookends. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was no consequence. How about those that do wrong? There's a whole community within itself.
Right. People,
And probably a larger community than those that do right.
That's true.
things used to be so strict. Like I don't feel like like rules are being broken and people are just loving it. Like I feel like there's no more.
It's an overcorrection because you have to think about it. Like, say you got pregnant in the 70s, like, you know, you and your high school boyfriend, baby, your mama was sending you either go live somewhere else or you had an abortion.
Yeah.
You know,
On the low. Yeah.
so again, I think it's just a huge overcorrection. And unfortunately, we're living in the time where we've seen the correction and slowly it's going back somewhere because it can't stay here. It's too left. It can't stay
Think
here.
so? I think
For a functional society, I think it's too left.
I think it will be our demise as humankind if it remains this
right.
way.
Yeah.
The Bible says that. Like this is technology era. Like this is where all of the things that are talked about in the Bible are occurring. Greed. People are just constantly eating. Oh, I see this food online. I want to eat it. I want to eat it. I want to eat it. Lust. Everything is hyper.
Everything's in excess.
It's extreme right now. And we're being tricked by AI. We're being like,
Now, I'm gonna tell you
this
who
is
tricking.
scary.
No, I'm gonna tell you who
if
putting.
you know the Bible, this is scary.
No, I'm gonna tell you who putting tricks out there. A lot of the mega church pastors, and even not the mega church pastors, they're putting a lot of bad information out to the church community, and I think it's somehow it filters into
For example,
heathens.
What kind of
but not Philip Mitchell, not Anthony Philip Mitchell.
Anthony Mitchell. I don't know
Anybody
who-
but him. But go
Is
ahead.
that your
You
pastor?
are a believer.
Yes, and he is one of ones.
Can
Everybody
Can you
knows.
see
There-
those glasses?
It's a little foggy.
There are no one. There are no
Because you
one
keep
of one.
doing
I'm
Well,
sorry
not
to
like that,
disappoint you.
not like that.
There are no
But
one of
he's
one.
the real deal. Like
But
he's reading from his Bible and
Even
he's
if he's
breaking
the
it
real
down.
deal, he is human.
No. I'm just saying the way he tells, like he uses the Bible and he's truthfully
Compared to real
speaking
life.
people. Like people are using them and creating scenarios and stories.
I
And
mean, he
they're
might be the
just telling
exception.
us what God and Jesus said in those Bibles, and he's keeping it real with us. Like get it together because, like. It's about to get real, and it's true.
That's not what a usual pastor does.
No, a lot of them are doing. They're trying to
See?
get your money.
Exactly. That's
you
what I'm
was just
saying. Yeah.
Come on.
They're putting
come on, join
foolishness
us.
out. Like I
Amanda.
literally
All of them
saw.
are
But is he
like that though.
Is he making money? Is he rich?
I'm just saying.
He's giving more, and that's what I appreciate.
But is he rich?
I don't think so, because he just bought his first house, and he's not over. Like he's
Not saying
being over-
not saying that there's
paid for
anything
that
wrong
house,
with
you
him
know that,
being
right?
rich.
No, it's different. He was in debt. No, what I'm saying is he deserves fruits for his
His labor, yeah.
for his labor, but he's not taking advantage, and he's doing a lot of giving in the meantime, and he's saving a lot of souls. So I appreciate that. I see the difference between, like you said, the pastors that are out there and they're just like, oh, I'm making money off of streams. I'm making money off of that. You had one dude getting his hair cut at church. You had another dude, he's flying over the ceiling. You had other people, like there's another guy who just asked for $1 million or something like that.
Kenneth
Somebody else said-
Copeland.
Yeah.
He got a
You-
jet.
you know
and-
what
This is so demonic.
You know,
y'all.
that's
It's
the one thing
crazy.
I never understood. Why is
Is that when he locked
there
the
this
door?
perception that if you're doing good, you're not supposed to make money,
Yeah,
right?
no,
It's
that's
like
not
you
true.
can have the best of intentions and you can be doing great for the world, but the second you're making money, it's like, oh, but why are you making money?
Are we talking?
Because I have to.
But I-
Are we talking about pastors
Just
right
because
now?
you make
Not
money,
just pastors. I'm just
Another
talking about
example.
whether it's people that are fighting for social justice, whether it's whoever,
right?
right? The second that people find out that they're making some type of income from what they're doing, it's frowned upon.
true.
And I don't understand it because it costs to live.
But it shouldn't be because
And anyone that's putting their energy and their effort,
Right.
especially their heart into something, should be compensated.
that's a part of hating on people's blessings,
Of course.
which is a problem that also people won't realize that is a problem. I mean, even if you talk, I'm not going to bring too much Bible into it, but even like, for example, let's just say Joshua, he ended up reaping the benefits of Egypt because of, like he is basically a king now, and now everybody is looking at him like his brothers are looking at him like, how should he be blessed or whatever? But it's like, all he did was stay humble and help others and, provide his blessings and share his blessings. And it's like when people see you benefiting off of the blessings that you deserve,
Yeah.
they don't see it that way. They're just hating on you.
They don't like that.
Right.
Well,
It's
shout
just
out to
hating.
Joshua.
Shout out to Joshua.
Thanks, Josh.